Singapore is a cautionary tale. It seemed to have the coronavirus under control after aggressive screening of travelers, testing and quarantines. But now a new outbreak is underway. Singapore reported 728 new cases, the biggest daily jump. Most of them are linked to cramped dormitories where low-paid migrant workers live. Singapore has imposed a partial lockdown until May 4th and made it mandatory for people to wear masks outside their homes. Japan's prime minister expanded a state of emergency to cover the entire country. The measure takes effect Friday and lasts until May 6th. Every Japanese citizen will also receive cash payments of nearly $1,000. Japan has more than 9,000 COVID-19 cases now and about 200 deaths. Germany is one of the countries set to begin slowly easing some restrictions. Some schools will reopen in early May, but bars, restaurants, theaters, and religious services will remain closed indefinitely. Bans on large public events, including soccer matches, will remain until at least August 31st. Chancellor Angela Merkel says physical distancing is still required and masks in public are recommended, but not mandatory. Getting back to normal is what we all crave, of course, but easing the restrictions is just not wise as long as there is still no treatment and no vaccine for this virus. Yet plans are being made in Canada to slowly begin to tweak the new normal and ease some parts of the economy back into business, tempered by the worry it could allow COVID-19 to return as strong as ever. Eric Sorensen explains.
For 1 month, Canadian businesses increasingly shut down. Now the first pivot towards reopening. In Saskatchewan, tentative plans to allow certain businesses to open up with distancing measures as already practiced at grocery stores.
As other businesses may be allowed to reopen, they will be expected to adopt similar practices.
Saskatchewan, though, is not Ontario or Quebec, large provinces with continuing outbreaks of COVID-19. Some of the biggest employers in the country are hurting, but the last thing they want is a hasty return to normal.
I think the greatest threat to us today, aside from the virus, is a false restart of the economy. We cannot afford what some would call a W in our recovery, where we have a second shutdown.
The Europeans have been through the worst and offer a possible glimpse into our future. This store in Rome demonstrably disinfecting before opening up. Others take the temperature of customers. In Germany, they're measuring off safe distances in schools and shops. And in Denmark, elementary kids went back to school this week. But that doesn't herald a return to normal business over here. Think Major League Sports. Perhaps made for TV competition, but they're not going to fill the stands.
The usual attractions are not coming soon to a theater near you or any place where crowds normally gather. Keep in mind, we've seen the economy shrink by 5% in the first quarter, and it would have been more but for Ottawa's stimulus. And looking to the second quarter, it's expected the economy will contract 23% on an annualized basis.
That suggests a lot of businesses will remain shuttered or that reopening won't mean wide open.
We're going to still have containment around how many people are allowed in stores at a time. Even after we have a vaccine, I still think that there could be some psychological scarring from the current environment.
For now, the business and epidemiological experts are in sync. Don't let a second COVID wave be a big wave.
That we would be able to deal with it without having to shut everything down again. That's the last thing we want to do, is release everything and then bring it all back.
What would be worse than the current economic pain is if it achieves nothing. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.
The new series that goes inside the COVID-19 pandemic, from the front lines to the everyday heroes helping us cope with the unprecedented change. Coronavirus, the New Reality. A Global News special, Sundays at 7 on Global.